Hello everybody, I'm Giuseppe Basile, also known as the FibStalker. Welcome to this daily and intraday review. Today is April the 17th, 2018, and it's 11:30 p.m. EST time in Toronto. So as usual, I ask you to pause the video and review the usual disclaimer here. Past performance is not indicative of future results, and trading Forex carries a high level of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. So please stop the video here and read and accept the disclaimer here. All right. Okay, so let's start our review here and let's look at what the ES is doing here. You will remember that we mentioned that if this level was not to hold the 2668, there was the extension short here that held price for a few days. As you can see here, today the price moved higher, and in the 4-hour time frame we had an inner measure move here, which has continued pushing price higher into the first target, and we're approaching that second target. If that happens tomorrow, then we're going to draw the extension, although the SP 500 actually likes to trade in traditional. Now here on the weekly, and this is something that we can see on the daily as well, so let's trace this on the daily as well. When we look at the full 50% here of the range, the market is actually testing that level. Okay, now this is one of the two levels that we use to characterize our lateral move here, and eventually one of these two levels here will start working, whether the is going to be the longs here or the shorts. Okay, so at the moment, before we can continue higher, we need to check whether this market is going to hold this level. If not, we're going to see the 2790 here, 28 level trading in this market. The next is going to be the dollar index. Dollar index has bounced from the 50% here, so it's still working off this wall area here. Dump money certainly at work here. So this level has been tested successfully, then price dipped below it because we are in a large area of potential longs here, which we can see here, and much clearer on the weekly time frame here. We can see that this market is actually testing this 50% long. Okay, so there's still a possibility for this reversal to continue, and later on we're going to review the US dollar Singapore. By the way, let's do it now because I use this market as a proxy for the dollar index, and in here we have a clear participation every time this market actually tests this trend line here. At the same time, we have what's called in traditional tech analysis an ascending triangle here. I'm not really interested about these kind of definitions. What we see here is that this market has bounced again from the 130.80 level and has the potential to continue higher here. Okay, so that's what we are seeing at the moment, and at this point we still need to wait and see what happens here. Today we had mainly a move higher here in this range here. The 50% are not really very significant because this is just a range, so the price can range from the bottom to the top of the range, and that's our anticipation here going forward. We'll see what happens going forward in here. Gold and silver, with the dollar index potentially moving laterally and potentially strengthening. Gold could actually again retest that 1311. Gold has been in this area for now 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 weeks, so basically almost since the beginning of the year here, and when we get this kind of markets, it's better to stay away. There's no need to push and that's not what we're going to do here. Okay, so the what we see here is for silver is more of the same on the daily. The levels are always the same. Participation at that 16, 17, which first target at 1580, and then there is the larger level which has a 14 14 targets below. Okay, 1480. So nothing has changed in this market. There is nothing to do really. So let's look at the majors, starting from the Australian dollar, US dollar. This market, as you will remember, has traded the upper bound, and then it came to trade the 50% short here, and then the market went into that first target. Okay, so the next measure move was a short here. This has traded with 78.17. The high was 78.09, so it's about 8 pips, which is well above that 4+1 that we use. The point here is that it's close enough, and there was this kind of pin here, so showing that, like in the past occurrences here, a strong selling pressure. So this could really be the relative top here of this move. So this market at this point could continue lower. There is also an inner measure move here that we could use, and basically the first target, they're very close. So if the market continues lower, it's going to hit these levels and possibly, you know, end up into this 75.03 level. Okay, so that's where we could see this market going to. So the area here then that we want to look at, it's you know, it's that of a potential continuation lower here, and this market has been extended here, so we could use extensions long, and that's where the market stopped initially. Now this level is going to be under pressure again, and in the meantime, on the 4-hour time frame, you know, although we're seeing these levels break here, there is some pressure on the downside. We're going to see what happens at this 77.53 if price actually pierces this level and actually pierces the 77.39. The new move lower in this market is likely to have started here. Okay, so that's something to keep in mind in this market. The euro dollar keeps moving laterally here in a nonsense move, and obviously it's resembling what we are seeing on the dollar index here. This is a large sideways, very long sideways. There were, you know, it was years we were not seeing such a long time-wise correction here, and we will see whether we're going to see a breakout in case the dollar index does not break on the downside. Sorry, in case he breaks on the downside, and so we'll need to wait and see how this resolves. At the moment, we have a lateral move, sideways pattern, with bears failing, bulls failing, and there is really very little to do here. Very risky market to be trading in. The pound here has reached that first target in a very extended move, so I'm not anticipating, unless the dollar index becomes very aggressive, a full 50% retrace here. In fact, for now I'm going to consider an extension long that has not played yet, and that level actually lines up with previous highs here, 142, and the previous first target of this measure move here, so that's the level to watch going forward. There is the 142.36 for a bounce and a continuation higher. US dollar, Canadian dollar, tomorrow it's OC Bank of Canada day, so be careful in this market. This market has traded the shorts here, particularly the 129.33, and it's continuing lower here. We do not anticipate the 50% of this range working here. Of course, the market is getting a little bit of participation here, and we will see whether that's enough for this market to continue continuing here. Okay, so so this market is now, it's not going to move a lot in the coming hours. At 10 a.m. EST time tomorrow, we'll see what happens, and I'm looking for a continuation lower in this market, as well as the euro Canadian dollar. And we look at the sequence of measure move. If we get a reaction higher tomorrow, the Bank of Canada should keep the interest rate to 125, but they should be very hawkish about potential increase in May. So we'll see if we get a reaction into the 126.70 and the market stops there. We should see a continuation lower into first and second target. Okay, that's what we see here. Next is the US dollar Swiss franc. This market has nicely continued higher here, despite the presence of the 50% short here. We know this was a range, and the longs have traded before, so this level had little hope of holding. It's tried to hold, then the market came back, traded an inner 50% long, which was an opportunity to add here, and went to trade into that first target. Okay, so forget this because we already have our first target, which is just above 96.98, and the market could continue higher into that second target as well. All right, so next is the US dollar Japanese yen, and this market has traded the shorts here, the 50% 107.70 area has traded here. We saw clear participation there, but there is also still a presence of dump money, as well as the long here. This long has reached the objective. The inner measure move has traded here and keeps pushing price higher. And if this market comes back, so this market has hit the first target, but it still has the potential to go to the second target. If it comes back, the next level we're gonna see, so I'm gonna leave the second target of this initial measure move, because the market could just continue higher from here, which is that level there, just above the 61% level of the shorts here. And then there is the next measure move that has not traded yet, the 106.72. So if the market comes back to this level and trades it, then that's again, it's a continuation long in this market. Okay, if the US dollar continues its move higher, we should see this price continuing higher as well. New Zealand dollar US dollar has seen a little bit of weakness here, but it seems just a profit taking into the next measure move here, from lows to highs. This has traded, progressing to the first target. The second target has not traded. The next measure move is going to be from lows to highs, and that level has not traded yet. So if tomorrow we see this level trading, then this could be a continuation higher, and this could happen even if the US dollar actually reverses here. Okay, so this is something that we need to keep an eye on. Valid level 73.17 for a continuation higher into previous highs. That's the 74.30 level. We reviewed already the US dollar Singapore dollar. So other notable markets here that we wanna review. Euro pound has actually hit that first target as we were anticipating, and I'm talking about the measure move here from the highs. This is the daily time frame, from the highs to the first level that's traded there. The first target just below price was tested, and now if this market actually continues higher, we're going to look at the next measure move continuation. The first target there was hit just with 4 pips of front run, which is what we need. So if we see this market moving into 88.27, then we shall take an opportunity for a short. Another notable development for today was the New Zealand dollar Canadian dollar, which pierced the weekly 92.11, and that happened today here. We saw some of you have commented on this. Now what this is telling us is that now this market can move lower into the 86.89. So the point here is try to capture the next measure move, and that could be an extension like it happened in the past, lows to lows, something like that. The notable would actually be this level here. That's what has traded in the past. This could happen again. We will see how this market behaves, but now we anticipate is a continuation lower into 86.89. So any opportunities to trade this market should be taken, and then we can actually have a look at this. Okay. The sorry, that's not something I was the next market, it's definitely we want to look at the let me see, the New Zealand dollar Japanese yen. Let me see. And here we have that extension that I mentioned also in the review, 78.37, that has not come into play unfortunately here, just for just 9 pips here, and that's a shame, that because it could have been an opportunity for a long. All right, so this is it for today intraday, and I'll keep looking at the market and charting here to try to identify new opportunities. I'll see you in the room.